Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. I wanted to do a full moon in Leo reading for all signs. A look at the period in between this full moon and the new moon in Pisces toward the end of February. And also just I want to say something about inner realities and outer realities. So it's just something that's been coming up for me the last couple of days, and I feel that I've shared it with a couple of my viewers, and I wanted to continue to share that. It's very easy when you're focused on external realities to be pulled into other people's perceptions and other people's realities and other people's business, and to lose sight of your core truths, your inner reality, what's going on inside you. And so this external reality that we find ourselves in, ask yourself, whose reality is it? Yes, it's our reality. Yes, in some way we've contributed to this reality, but it's also Donald Trump's reality. So before you start to get dragged in and sucked into Donald Trump's reality, just steady yourself, focus back on your inner reality and your own needs. What are your needs telling you? What are they? What are you feeling is best for you? Never lose sight of that, because when you detach yourself from that inner reality and you get sucked into other people's perceptions, particularly other people's perceptions of reality, and we know that Donald Trump's perception of reality is very, very, very distorted. And of course, he's sucking other people into that distortion. The way you're going to anchor yourself, the way you're going to protect yourself, the right way for you, the only way for you, is to refocus on your own inner reality, what's going on inside you. So having said that, I'm not going to make this a Trump reading. I'm actually going to make it a full moon in Leo reading, and a little bit of a look in between, and a little bit of a look at the new moon in Pisces. But let's focus on the full moon in Leo. Now, I've known some wonderful Leo people, truly a very good friend of mine who's not with us now was a Leo, and they are expansive, they are uninhibited, they will see the big picture, they will also want to be on centre stage. Now I know that Trump's Mars is in Leo, so you'll understand then why we've got the focus on him and what he is doing in relation to retribution after the impeachment. That's the negative side. I think also he's a Leo ascendant. That's the negative side of Leo. However, the positive side of Leo, which is where I want to go, is this wonderful bring people along with them. They have a vision. They have this, as I said, expansive look at the present. It's almost like throwing the balls up in the air and seeing where they come down, and understanding that you still have control over where those balls do come down. And I think, I come back to that inner reality. When the inner reality is strong, then we're not so much drawn into the perceptions of reality of other people. And while I don't want to get into psychology, and I said this wasn't a Trump reading, he is not, his compass, his inner compass, his inner reality is as distorted as what he appears externally. And so he's also getting sucked in to the reality that he's creating, but also other people's realities, and that includes those that he perceives as enemies. And so it's a pretty vicious cycle. So there's just a caution for you: don't fall down the same rabbit warren. Be very strong and anchored, and also with your inner reality, be sure that you're not projecting that negativity. Be sure that you fill your inner reality with light, and then that's how other people learn, because we are aware of other people's perceptions of realities, and if you're emanating this perception of this light perception, then they're going to pick that up as well, and that changes their perception of reality. So I don't want to go any further because it's getting complicated now. suffice to say, a good check on yourself is, what are you bringing forward? Can it stand in the light? So that's not it's not Pollyanna stuff. Sometimes hard information needs to come forward. The truth needs to come forward, and the truth brings with it the light. So, what do we want to know about the full moon in Leo? All signs. What is it bringing forward for us? So show me the conditions of this full moon. Full moons offer completion, a chance to look back. What is it bringing forward for us? How can we deepen our understanding about the power and the I guess the transparency of the moon, of course, not so different from the sun in a way, showing us, illuminating us another side, perhaps things that are hidden that need to come to the surface. More, also our instinctive side, the battle that we have between us, and this is this internal and external reality. I keep coming back to it too. Now, one of my viewers sent me a lovely email on her analysis of the moon card, and she reminded me of the two in the Rider-Waite tarot. There is the wolf and there is the dog, the domesticated dog. And even though they are similar, one acts on instinct and the other tames his or her instinct. And of course the moon is bringing that out. So full moons are perhaps a good look, certainly in the case of our leaders who are spoiling for fights and retribution, a good look at the darker side of reality, of their reality. So what does this mean for us, for the collective, at the individual level? Show me what the full moon in Leo brings forward. Spirit, show me what the full moon in Leo brings forward. I'm using my 78 tarot. Let me see, where is the name? 78 Tarot Mythical, Tarot of the Legendary. It is the one that is compiled by a number of artists, and that's why I picked it, because I don't want to just see one person's interpretation, one person's archetype or imagery or intuition. I actually want to see a number, and I want to see these artists come from all around the world. So like or dislike this deck, I've chosen it for its representation, because I am drawn to representation, that we are seeing the lack of representation at the moment, whether that's in big companies, on boards, in our governments. It's quite common these days to see a whole lineup of elder white men. So there's nothing wrong, as I keep saying, with white men, but where is the representation? So these kind of graphic images are coming forward, I think, which means that we're actually thinking about representation. We're actually going, well, hang on, why is that so? Our society is made up of a multitude of, whether it be young people, middle-aged people, elderly people, people of all cultures and colours and races and creeds. Where's the representation? All right, let's have a look. The Seven of Cups. Now, this artist has depicted, I'm just going to pull a simple Celtic cross. So this is a signifier card. This is all about choice, the Seven of Cups. This is all about really peeling our way through distortions of reality, and again this inner and outer reality, and the choice that we make. Where are we going to put that? This is illusionary, and we're coming up to a new moon in Pisces. Pisces, of course, is one of the most intuitive signs in the zodiac. But there's also the shadow side of Pisces around this dreamy, illusionary state. So again, what's the full moon bringing us? I feel it should, if we go to a deeper understanding of this, through looking back at what has happened between the last full moon and this current full moon in Leo, we should be looking back and we should be able to see things in greater clarity, because this artist has depicted a parting of the seas, a way through. We should be able to see our way through. So whatever situation is permeating around you at the moment, can you see your way through? Is it a question, if it's too big for you, if you can't see your way through, to go back to your own inner reality, because that's what you can control. That's what you can change. You can change and have mastership over your own inner reality, the parting of the waters. The challenge here is the Nine of Cups. Don't we all just love a miracle? Don't we all just want a miracle? Don't we all just want things to suddenly, miraculously give us our wish come true? It's kind of not going to be like that. It never was like that. It all comes back to be the change you want to see. Okay, so this is some of the things that the full moon is bringing up for us. Let me just bring the laptop down. Really making us aware of where our illusions are, and wanting the magic wand solution to things, when really the solution is within us. So there's a choice that we have to make. Now, the Page of Pentacles, the information is there for us if we want it. It is being given to us with this full moon. It is when the extreme, the full moon in Leo, as I said, this uninhibited view of that is coming to us, particularly globally, where we see the extremes, and we're wondering, is this some kind of upside down world that we're living in? And I can bet that there would be situations that are occurring in people's individual lives that are mirroring in some way some of the conditions that are in the external reality at the moment. And you know, when we're rudderless, when we don't know where we're going, again I come back to making the choice to go within, to focus on your own inner reality. Now, we are completing something. We are completing something. And this artist in this card has depicted the Ten of Wands as someone who is elderly and carrying a burden. What happens if you're elderly and you're still carrying all that, all those lessons, all that karma? You know, if you haven't put them down, what occurs? You get this when things have remained, you know, when you've buried your head in the sand, where you haven't looked at the lessons. You know, you get this burnout, you get this fatigue, you get this carrying this heavy load. But the thing is with this card, and it's in the past position, which means that we are coming up to completing a cycle, is that this person can put that load down at any time, straighten up, and move forward without labouring. And of course, what is this person carrying on her back? Are these her? Is this her business, or is this someone else's business? Has she taken on someone else's business? Because that's another meaning of this card. So that is in the past. I've got some beautiful birds chirping at the moment. What's crowning this reading is this loss, and I do feel this is a good card for, well, it is in the potential future position. And so that's probably telling us, but of course it's only a potential, it hasn't happened yet. It is telling us that this is probably a condition that we're all in. We're all waiting for that external reality to change by some miracle, by some hero that's riding in. And this is pretty significant. This is not just loss. This is an extreme reaction to loss. This is grieving. So, you know, the Five of Cups, there are still 2 cups remaining here. 3 might be lost and lost forever, but there are still 2 cups remaining. So that's what's crowning our reading. That can also be the issue. Where are we putting our focus? And what perception, what reality is that creating for us? Is that sending out a light-filled reality? Or is that sending out this darker reality? And the artist has depicted this statue as a statue in stone. So again, highlighting the choices that we've got to make. So I do feel that the full moon in Leo and this period between the full moon and the new moon in Pisces gives us an opportunity to sweep out our house and to get rid of that debris and that dust, and to fill that house with light, and then let that be your reality. And anyone who's coming to visit, let them feel that reality. Okay, so the Page of Swords in the immediate future. So this page always bothers me. I don't know why. The Page of Swords is the spy in the camp. It's the the person with the rapier that's digging away. But there's a truth, unfortunately, there that you need to see. And of course, that's exactly what this artist has done. Very clever artist. I have so much respect for anyone, not just famous artists, not just good artists, but anyone who takes the time to put down their intuitions and what's in their mind's eye onto paper for us to see, or for them to see. So this lightning striking, coming out of this person's eyes, there is a truth. There is a truth that we need to see. And the page, because it's associated with that spy in the camp, is always going to be an uncomfortable truth for us. Okay, full moon in Leo, the Chariot right at the moment. Things are coming forward, that's the thing with Leos. They do throw those balls up in the air, and they do wait for them to fall and see where they fall. Although there's a purpose there. There's a purpose for that throwing up of everything, to see where things are landing. In a way, I feel the divine is steering the ship, so to speak. But it does feel like we're overwhelmed. And the artist in this card almost looks like that is in the underworld. And I just forget that goddess's name. Someone will put it in, no doubt, in the viewers' comments section. But we are walking through dark times, and no, I'm not going to say dark times. We are walking through a landscape where we have the ability to light our own way. And this is what she brought to the underworld. She brought light. This is the Chariot card. I'm really glad I decided to use this deck. Whoa, okay, so the environment around, high anxiety and sleepless nights. Now, again, being pulled into other people's realities, other people's perceptions, is going to do that to you. If you're not solid in your own inner reality, if you're not broadcasting light from within, if you're not feeling your own light, you're going to be uncomfortable. You really are. And this is where we are at the moment. So we're walking through this landscape in the underworld. And yes, we are extremely anxious about that. But this person is the light, and she's transforming a reality, a dark reality. Well, I'm not going to say dark reality, an alien reality. Perhaps you're in a landscape you've never walked through before. All the more reason to anchor yourself within. Let's see what's in the hope and fears position. The Ace of Wands. So there is hope, and there is nothing illusionary about hope. Hope comes from within. It is the fire that burns within, and it is the fire that grows. It is the light that grows. And so this is our hope. We want these new starts. We don't want to be walking through this landscape here. We want to be walking confidently ahead, with this Ace of Wands, with passion, with motivation. We don't want to be halting. We don't want to be unsure of where we're stepping. And the way that we do that is to follow our own light. The Ace of Wands, new starts. That's where we want to be. That's where we want to be. That's where we want to be. Okay. Full moon in Leo. The Three of Pentacles. Okay, so that's teamwork. It's working together. That's interesting because when we're entrenched, full moon in Leo, seeing the big picture, when we're entrenched in our own opinions, in our own fight against someone else's reality or perception of reality, we tend to polarize. We tend to polarize because there's really no need to fight, because if we were confident and living our own inner reality, it wouldn't matter what someone else's perception was. So this again is working with others. So there's I guess a message here with this full moon. If you're looking at, what are the lessons, it is to surround yourself with like-minded people. Don't engage in the argument. Don't, go on your way, walk your path, but also find who and what you resonate with. So there is an aspect of a circle here. There is an aspect of working with others. So be open, I think. Be open to being attracted to the right sort of environment and people for you. Again, as soon as you start living with that inner reality, and it is a hard thing to do because it's very difficult to explain. Someone will say, well, what is your inner reality? Well, that's your truth. That's the essence of who you are. And that's getting back in touch. That's listening to yourself. It's doing what your higher self is telling you to do. It's self-care, self-love, self-nurturing. It is discipline, not getting caught up in other people's business. It's all of those things. And it's also connecting with spirit as well, connecting with your higher self. So really strengthening that connection. The Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. So we are being confronted with this harsh truth. This knight certainly takes action, but this knight can also be quite harsh as well, because he is in a battle. He is in a battle to make sure that the truth emerges. So these are all the conditions that the full moon in Leo is bringing up, whether that be at the individual level or the collective level, or even the global level at the moment. And of course, we've got this devil energy at the back of everything. This is Saturn doing his work. His work. I guess it's a he or she. Saturn, the planet Saturn, doing their work. And it's interesting that this artist has depicted the devil as a female. Now, that's not to say that females are devils. It is to say that the devil is always depicted as a male. This is about understanding that we're all equal in some way, but we've all got this power inside us. And what are we going to use that for? We're going to use that for the good or for the ill. The devil is not, as I said before in a previous reading, not necessarily a bad card, but it is how you use that power. But I do feel that globally this reading is quite on point, that we are getting the truth is emerging. It is harsh. We're having to look at it. We are having to choose how we respond to it. And simply grouping ourselves into the centre or to the left, or grouping ourselves to the centre to the right, is not the answer. It is going within, living in your own reality, shining that reality out, making sure that it's light-filled, not hate-filled. But it's also looking for your tribe as well. So how do you do that? You find your tribe when you're living in your inner reality. You don't find your tribe by simply being sucked into someone else's external reality. Let's have a look, and that includes people that you would consider like-minded to you. So let's have a look at what is at the base of the pack. We have the Knight of Cups. There is an offering for us. I feel that enlightenment is the offering. I feel that the truth is the offering. I feel that seeing clearly is the offering here with this Knight of Cups. Again, this pack, this artist denotes meditation as very important. This is an extra card in the pack beyond the usual Rider-Waite archetypes, and it is meditation, and that is going within. And really, that was the focus of the reading. And finally, we have the King of Cups, the King of Pentacles coming forward. This again is, well, I'm not going to go back over the reading. We know who the King of Pentacles is. The King of Pentacles, are those that would seek to use this energy in the wrong way. Okay, that's not always what the King of Pentacles signifies. But in this reading, we're getting a good look at how this power is being misused. And unfortunately, that is the reality that we're seeing at the moment. And that reality can play out. That's what is happening at the moment. What we don't want to do is being sucked into that reality, because we will have a response to that. And that could be as negative as the reality that is being broadcast at the moment. Whereas if you're within, then you meet that negative external reality, you meet it with light, and there's a totally different outcome when that happens. The Queen of Pentacles, both the King and the Queen together. So again, how are we using this energy? We do have a way forward. It doesn't mean that we have to go back to the rainforest and live in the hut and live this alternative meditative life, the life of a monk. It means that we need to be aware of how we're using our energy, how we're using what we are broadcasting, and also we need to be of course aware of the truth. One last card. I'll have to go with two, because here's my old friend Judgment. We've got the Page of Wands. So this is stepping forward. This is young people. I do feel that we should be looking to our young people in some way, and we should be listening to our young people. They are the silent I don't know that they're a minority. They're quickly becoming a majority, or they will become the majority. We should be listening to them. What are they saying? So if you've got young people around you, listen to them. Where are they at? I feel that there is a lot of confusion around understanding whose reality they're being sucked into. They might be being sucked into our current reality. It might not be the reality that they want. So there is this full moon in Leo, this endings, this look at this Judgment card, as I talked about in my previous readings, the fire and the smoke. And so one of my viewers, bless them, absolutely bless them. I did a reading where I talked about this image, this kind of clairvoyant image where we had a fire burning and then the black smoke around. And I said it reminded me of the Judgment card. And of course, the Judgment card was the final card that I pulled in that particular reading. And here the Judgment is again. And this viewer said, what would happen if we just spread light out into those dark plumes of smoke? What would happen? Well, the light would actually transform the fire. And we would have light, we would have transparency, we would have truth, and we would have a far better way of dealing with our problems than what we do now. So, full moon in Leo, the period between now and when we move to this new moon in Pisces, when you feel yourself getting sucked into that whirlpool of someone else's reality or perception of reality, anchor yourself in your own inner reality and fill that inner reality with the light, your truth. You are the holder and the keeper of your truth, and that's all you need to know. That's really where it starts and where it finishes. All right, I hope you enjoyed that reading. It kind of I just go with whatever I'm feeling I need to bring forward, and with whatever the cards are bringing forward to me on any particular day. So there's our full moon in Leo reading, and I really feel I should put spirit files in front of it as well, because that felt a little bit like a channeling there. So have a wonderful weekend, viewers. Thank you again, from my heart to yours, for all the support you give this channel, and all will be well. Thank you.